You know what you've lost, but can you name your wins? Most people in a career transition can recite their losses on demand: the VP title, the 401k contribution, the Friday happy hour with the work family. Ask them to name their wins. Oof, awkward silence and a short apologetic list, and they immediately start walking back. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. Anyone could have done it. That isn't humility. It's your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. Today, I'm going to help you find the career wins you've been talking yourself out of counting, and it's going to make a huge difference in landing the next job or making the pivot. Hi, I'm Laverne McKinnon, and welcome to the Moonshot Mentor community. If you're navigating high stakes change, a career transition, or leading a team through uncertainty, you're in the right place. I'm a speaker, a career strategist, and a grief coach. I work with leaders, teams, entrepreneurs, creatives, and artists to cut through all of the noise, to regain traction and make clear, aligned decisions, spiritually, strategically, and tactically. Remember to subscribe so you can continue to get insights on leadership, culture, and career transitions. Okay, let's jump in. Did you know that your brain tracks threats and losses with far more energy than it tracks wins? It's called negativity bias, and a lot has been written about it. Essentially, as humans, we're wired to look for what's not working as a way to protect ourselves. So during a career transition, exactly when you need a clear and accurate picture of your professional story, your brain is actively over indexing on the negative. The losses stay top of mind while the wins get tucked into a banker's box and put into the back of a storage container. And what happens over time is that this negativity bias, it feels like the truth. And once it gets cemented in, oh boy, it really starts running the show and starts calling the shots in every decision that you make, what you apply for, how you talk about yourself, what you believe you're capable of doing next. And I learned this the hard way. And what made it worse is that my brain wasn't the only thing working against me. I was also using the wrong measuring stick. Several years ago, when I was pivoting out of independent film and television producing, I went after three corporate gigs really hard. And I made it to the final round for all three, and I got none of them. So when I did my homework and I looked into why it was them and not me, the feedback was consistent. The candidates who were hired all had more recent measurable wins: box office numbers, Emmy nominations, projects that crossed the finish line in a way that the entertainment industry recognizes. It was a very big ouch. I knew how hard I'd been working, and I knew that a lot of the gap wasn't about effort. It was about circumstance. And I'm not making excuses here, but I could not ignore the fact that there was COVID, there were lockdowns, the writers' strike, the actors' strike. The hard truth is that the industry had slowed down so much that we could count the number of greenlit productions on one hand. It turns out, though, that my wins weren't actually missing. They just didn't fit into the industry scoreboard. I spent years making sure that the people that I was working with on these projects felt respected. Now, I knew this, that they felt respected because they kept wanting to come back to me and work together on new ones. I also took great pride in responding to submissions when most people didn't bother. I did timely passes that built relationships with agents and managers and other producers who understood that most of the time the answer is no. Now, nobody was measuring these types of things that fell under the emotional intelligence category. But here's the thing: I wasn't winless. In fact, I was quite victorious. But me and the industry were using different measuring sticks. So I felt less than. If your career story is feeling heavier on losses right now, I want to walk you through an exercise that includes the parts that haven't made it yet onto your resume. So we're going to start with the most obvious place: external recognition. Are there any awards, nominations, acknowledgments, any moment where someone outside your own head said, yes, this? Write them down without editing or qualifying. Now we're going to go a little deeper. What do people thank you for, come to you for, refer others to you for? When something comes naturally to you, it's not unusual to just treat it like any other day. But the fact that people are consistently seeking you out for it, it says a lot about who you are. So pay attention to that. Then ask yourself about the goals that you hit without the fireworks going off, the ones that you set, achieved, and moved on from without a big victory dance, because those count too. Now, here's where it gets more interesting. We tend to define victory as coming in first, getting the public recognition, beating the competition. But that's only one definition. And for many people, it's not even the one that matters. So think about a time that you made a decision that honored your values, even if it went against what others expected, or a time that you went so outside your comfort zone to make something happen that it surprised even you. Even if the outcome wasn't perfect, even if it wasn't work related at all, the stretch itself is a victory. The integrity is a win. These moments are the most accurate picture of who you really, really are. And finally, another big question. What measuring stick have you been using? Did you choose that measuring stick? Or did someone hand it to you a long time ago and you just never put it down? When you sit with this question, like really, really sit with it, does your definition of a win feel energizing? Or does it feel like a bar you can never quite clear? Where did it come from? Maybe it was from a parent or an industry or company culture, a moment earlier in your career when you decided what success had to look like. In this moment, you get to choose whether to keep it. Mine shifted when I stopped measuring my career solely against green lights and started asking, did the people around me feel respected? Did I show up with integrity? Did I make something better because I was there? Those wins were real because process matters to me. If you're in a hard career moment, your brain is going to keep handing you the losses. That's what it does. So you have to actively go looking for the other side of the story, not to paper over what's hard, but because your professional story is the foundation that you build from. And if it's missing its best chapters, you're building on incomplete ground. This is the work we do inside Solid Ground, my paid membership community on Substack. So during the month of April, we're going to be mapping the highs and lows of your career to see the full picture, not just the parts that your brain defaults to. So every month in the program, I send a short lesson and a worksheet to work through before we get on a live coaching call together. It's honestly one of my favorite things that I do. Now, if that sounds like something that you need right now, becoming a paid Substack subscriber is going to get you in. So the link is in the bio. Bottom line, your brain was built to remember the losses. It's doing its job, but that means that your career story has probably been edited, wins minimized, qualified, or left out entirely. So start with what people thank you for, move toward the decisions that you're proud of, the stretches that surprised you, the moments that you showed up with integrity, even when no one was watching. And then ask the harder question, whose measuring stick have you been using? And is it actually yours? The answers might change what you think is true about yourself. Okay, that's it for today. Big, big thank you to Amanda Kenny, our social media and digital strategist, and to Lauren Deacon for leading Moonshot Mentor Operations. And most of all, thank you for being here. Your time, your energy, your questions, your engagement is creating a community where we can rely on each other and have each other's backs, especially during challenging transitions. So until next week, keep going after your moonshot.